Thanks, Tom. As Tom said, we're here at the SFA conference in Las Vegas. 7,700 plus registrants of financial aid professionals, attorneys, financial aid servicers, loan servicers, and other professionals that are in the SFA space. It's just a tremendous conference. I recommend, if you've never been to one of these conferences, it's something that you really need to do, because you get the opportunity to hear firsthand and talk firsthand to the high-end policymakers and the folks that we deal with in the department. It's always great to put that face with a name, so that in the future when we're dealing with them, and if you need to deal with them on an individual basis, they may have some recollection of who you are. Granted, with 7,000 people here, it's a difficult situation. But, you know, the main theme for Tom and I is walking, and we're here with Ray Testa also, but we're just doing a lot of walking. It's a huge venue, but it's a very important program. We're going to start back and go to some of the opening remarks. It's important to know that the Secretary and some of the remarks made by some of the other high-end policy officials, David Bergeron, Danny Metz-Allen, and Jeff Baker, a lot of it centered on some of the things that the initiatives that the department has going forward. One of the key takeaways that I had was the NSEKI, and we really need to be paying attention to that. There seems to be some kind of and there was a reference made to some of the decoupling that's going to be going in between accreditation and eligibility. It doesn't mean that accreditation is going away. It looks like the face of accreditation may be changing, and the actions and the initiatives undertaken by NSEKI, the new NSEKI, is something that we really need to be paying attention to. Beyond that, there was also mention about some of the items about the loss of eligibility through the gainful employment regulations. As Tom said earlier, the main theme for the day was about gainful employment and some of the issues surrounding that. They talked about the fact that you know, the 5% cap that'll be in effect for the first year of the gainful employment regs, that although they don't anticipate that cap being pushed, that cap will still be in place, and that'll be for the first year. They talked about income contingent in IBR and some of the areas that are surrounding them and where they see that going. That initiative is really an initiative that's being pushed by the White House, and the administration is something that they see as a way to loosen up some funds, if you will, for recent college graduates, to help them put more money into the economy while still having the ability to stay in repayment and keep their credit in good stead. As you know, that came out. There's going to be a special 6-month period where there'll be the ability to not only consolidate those loans, but to be able to go in and to be able to go into the income-based repayment situation. Beyond that, there was also we attended an issue or a session that dealt with state authorization and the ability of whether or not you have a program that qualifies for gainful employment. As Tom said to you earlier, that 80% of the schools have reported the data and have reported the data successfully. One of the key issues and one of the key phrases that continue to be used is that if that hasn't been done, there could be some serious compliance issues that will be dealt with that. So again, I know Tom said it, but I'm going to stress it to you. If you haven't done your reporting, if you haven't received your authorization, or if you haven't received the verification that the data has been received, please go in and take care of that, and do that sooner rather than later. We also talked about some of the programs and the addition of new programs to the NPRM that was just due. We expect some final rules on that probably later on in the year, but they did talk about how to determine whether or not you have the additional program or any new programs. First of all, from the reporting side, if you think you don't have a GE program and they are listed on your e-card, you need to make sure that you report those programs, because maybe you're not offering them anymore.
Q&A on gainful employment in just a minute or so.
In the background, you hear Jeff Baker.
Could you move forward so it's hard to hear?
We're about getting ready to start another session. What we'll probably do is, as Jeff is getting ready, he's just asking people to move forward. We are in a cavernous arena right now that seats probably about 5,000 people, and there will probably be, for the gainful employment Q&A, there might be about 1,500 people in here. And I know that sounds like a lot, but in an arena that seats 5,000 or 6,000 people, it is cavernous. And as you know, most of the people like to sit towards the back. But let me just try and finish up. The key on programs that they continue to stress, one of the takeaways that I had there was that whatever is on your e-car is what your program is. So you need to check your e-cars and see what your e-cars say. If you have a program that's on your e-car that you haven't offered over past several years, you still need to report on that program. So make sure that you go to your e-car and see where you're at with that. Beyond that, this has just been a great conference. We will continue to bring you some up-to-the-date information as we go through the conference. We look forward to giving you something comprehensive, obviously, as time goes forward. I can't stress enough some of the timing of the information that is going to be given at the spring conference will be particularly timely, especially when you look at the fact that we are also right on the edge of a new negotiated rulemaking session, which will be meeting in January, February, and March. We have submitted a nominee for a negotiator, and we're waiting to hear on that. We should know sometime within the next couple of weeks if we're going to have a seat at the table during these negotiations. So, appreciate you listening. Have a great day, and tune back in, and we'll get you the information. Thanks.